Welcome to Cosmic Comics Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
From the pages of Issue 1. In Land of Dagon, an ordinary cruise ship is met with an unusual storm that tosses the ship into chaos. At the end of it, the ship and its crew find themselves stranded in a strange land. The captain and a few crew members set out to search for help, but what they find instead horrifies them. In Tree of Life, a professor believes he has found the key to immortality. He hires a two-man security team to accompany him in his search for the Tree of Life. Their adventure takes a dark turn when their plane is forced down in a mysterious jungle. The team finds they are not alone, and worse yet, deathly wrong about the treasure they hope to find. From the pages of Issue 2, in More Than They Can Chew, a young group of friends are lost in the backwoods of Oklahoma and being hunted by cannibal psycho hillbillies who in turn are being hunted by a Bigfoot, because their matriarch is a manifestation of pure evil. In The Unknown Incident at Kecksburg, Otis Knapp is a retired PSY operative who is called back into action to help the government communicate and assess the intentions of a Bigfoot and gray alien that were found at the crash site of what is known as the Kecksburg Incident. From the pages of Issue 3, in Mulrooney, Clara travels to her great-uncle's castle to help him manage the property for a season. The castle's dark past is revealed, and her very presence invokes the things that once resided in the old manor. In Mine, a single mother struggles against her verbally abusive father for her son's devotion. After her father passes, things don't improve as she had hoped, and her son begins to talk to her dead father through a tin can phone. She soon learns that those conversations were not a coping mechanism and fights to save her son before it's too late.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com, and I think I'm figuring out how to get ahead in this podcasting business. We'll see. It's still, hit or miss. I stick my neck out now and then to try things. But tonight, it's August, but it's Halloween. And you'll see what I mean. We're just going to bring him on. We have Mr. Ben Soto with us tonight. Ben.
Hey,
tell us. It's 74 days till Halloween.
Yeah.
Why is that important for us tonight?
Because tonight you can partake in backing this anthology that I've got going on here called Tricks and Treats. And then in October, you can receive this treat and open it up and have an even funner Halloween.
That's right. You'll have this book just in time for Halloween, right?
That's right.
So this is a horror anthology.
It is.
Is horror your thing, or is it just that this one? Because this is your first campaign. I don't know if this is your first comic.
It is my first campaign. No, I've worked on other books before, but this is the first project that's mine personally, with my brother and with some friends of mine. So it's definitely the genre that I lean towards.
Right. So what comics have you worked on prior to this? I mean, were they crowdfunded under a different banner or?
No, no, not crowdfunded. I did a lot of superhero books for a local publisher here in Oklahoma, where I'm from.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you know your way around the business a little bit here.
Yeah, and I did a lot of freelance coloring for a couple of other companies.
So why horror? Why is what got you into horror?
I don't know, something about Halloween and monsters. I just as a kid, I always thought it was fun. For me, Halloween wasn't about being scared so much as it was a time when kids got to dress like the superheroes they wanted to be, and not looked at like a weirdo, for doing so.
Yeah.
So it was just, it was just
Now
about
fun
fun.
play.
Yeah,
You can do it every day.
that's
of the
true.
year.
That's true. Every day's Halloween.
Every day.
Yeah.
So what led you into doing the comics in the first place? I mean, do you remember your first comic?
The very first comic that I drew.
Very first comic you ever read?
Oh, Red. Yeah, that would be G.I. Joe. I don't remember the issue number now. But yeah, it was a G.I. Joe comic. I remember, I'm from Texas, so I remember walking into an H-E-B with my dad, and my dad let me look at the spinner rack, the comics that they had in the grocery store. And I picked one out. I was like, hey, can I take this? And he was like, yeah, sure. But yeah, ever since then, I've loved comics.
You froze. Okay.
Oh, okay.
For just a half a second, you froze.
Oh.
But you're back. Yeah. So yeah, I almost thought he's going to say like something from Image, and I'm like, no, you're a lot younger than even the Image revolution here.
I'm actually older than you might think. I'm 41.
You are older than I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, dude, I'm going 19.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you got a baby face, man.
I get like 25 a lot, but never 19. That's a first. Gotta brag about that to my wife here in a second.
Good on you, man. Yeah, keep that card handy when you go get liquor. Because,
there you
you're
go.
going to keep using it for a long time. All right, so you do have the Indiegogo up here. I've got the page. I'm going to share it. And there it is. Now, how much writing or art or whatever it was that you did is this you? Because it's an anthology, and we do anthologies of horror and science fiction. And we put out a call for other people to do it because it's less work.
Right. Yeah, so the way we did it, it wasn't an anthology right at the get-go. It was more of a double feature, is kind of what I called it. So it was 3 single issues over the span of 3 years, last 3 years. And it was just 2 stories in each book. So the first book was just me and my brother. Like, I wrote a story and I drew it. My brother wrote a story and he drew it. And so the first issue was just that. The second issue, I invited some friends of mine to come along. And I had my friend Tommy Brunell. He did a story in the book. And 2 of my other friends actually kind of split the drawing duty on the book. And so that was a lot of fun just to work with my friends on that one. And then the second story in that book, I wrote it, and my brother and another friend of ours, Michael Garrett, he penciled some pages in there and drew it. And I kind of helped with inks. And I do all the colors in the books and kind of put it together once it's all done.
So you guys work digitally or traditionally?
It's a mix of both. I do mix of both. That last story that's in there, it's called Mine. That was purely digital. I did all that in Eclipse Studio and Photoshop.
Yeah. A lot of people are going digital, and I'm wondering how long do we have to go digital before digital is the new traditional?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you do it digitally, or do you actually go caveman style with pen and ink?
Right. I still love pen and ink. I love pushing that brush around.
We have a pretty active chat going on here tonight, too. You got Gingy Gingerchin's out here. Yo.
Yeah.
Welcome. Glad to see you. Eric Kent's out here. Hey, y'all. Doris Jones, Labors of Love. Hello, Dory. Marmalade is very excited to get to talk to you next week. So
cool.
He can hardly contain himself. Marmalade's our other interviewer. So
okay, cool. Very
you
cool.
haven't seen our. He's out there on our page, so you can find him easily enough. That's what I meant to do. Sometimes I click the wrong buttons. Fortunately, none of them are attached to anything nuclear. Um, so you are, sort of the jack of all trades in this, because writer and artist on the Land of Dagon story here right off the top.
Right.
And I'm looking at something that looks like it could be the ruins of the Tower of Babel, which would be in the right sort of era and the right gods being mentioned.
Right.
And Lovecraftian fishmen.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going with a Lovecraft bent on this one then.
Right. Yeah, the first issue was Lovecraft themed. The second issue was Bigfoot themed, and the third issue was ghost stories. And so, 2 stories of each, and this just collects all 6 of those stories into one.
So you're going to get 6 stories in a trade paperback.
Right.
If you're just getting the book, the book is $25 with a bookmark and a button. What kind of button is it? Like the little flip the pen on the back and then tuck it under kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a little like a push pin button. You can pin it on your jacket or backpack. That's what I used to do back in the day.
Yeah. Well, there's some where like the needle is flat against the pin, and you got to hook it and then rehook it when you pin it through. And then there's the kind that just sticks straight in. They put a little clasp on the back that holds it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those that has the little linchpin on the back.
Okay.
Yeah, they haven't come in yet. They just shipped them yesterday. So
Sticker mule?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to go. They if this is this the first time you've ordered from Sticker Mule?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. I didn't order for Sticker Mule. It's a local, somewhat local. It's probably about 2 hours away from me here in Oklahoma. Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's even better if you can keep the money local. But that is not the featured tier. You've got something bigger going on here for $75. Take us through that. What's in this featured tier here?
Yeah, so this is the fun one. This is what I call the trick or treat bag, and you're going to get, of course, the book. You're going to get a bookmark, the button. You're going to get all 3 single issues that were previously released and published. You're going to get a sketch for myself, a sketch for my brother Justin. You're going to get the poster, and you're going to get the Halloween Head Comics sticker, our logo sticker.
And there's only 6 of these perks to claim, and 4 of them are gone.
Yeah, the reason for that is because my limited amount of single issues that I had available.
Sure.
All right.
You can't oversell what you don't have.
That's right.
You'll be sold out of single issues if when this is done then, or you're reserving some for conventions.
Right. Yeah, I do have a few cut to the side.
Got to have something for the grandkids to see. Double pack, literally double the pack.
Exactly.
$40. Save $10 if you double this. So get one for a friend, get one for your local comic shop, get one as your local comic shop, and put them both on the shelf. Make a little bit more money. What's this? A collector's bundle. And this is building up towards sort of like the tier we saw at the top here, where you do get the single issue with this one. And again, 4 because limited quantity.
Right.
And then for $60, you're going to get the book and the sketch. So you're doing sketches.
Yes. Yeah, that's my brother right there. That's Justin Soto, and the little trailer or the little preview there is those are his sketches, just as an example.
Very nice work. So you guys grew up drawing.
Yeah.
You ever try to outdraw each other?
Always. Yeah, that's how we got better.
So let's see who can draw the coolest Batman, or let's see who can draw the coolest, Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, competition, push each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Who did you did you both have the same influences artistically, or did one of you go towards Bernie Wrightson and the other one towards Mike Plug or something? It's just
something like that. My brother leaned a lot more towards the manga artist. So his style is kind of American manga, but also it's very into the classics. And so his is kind of a mixture of that. It's that Tree of Life preview right there. If you scroll down, that's his artwork.
This is
scroll up. I'm sorry.
Scroll up. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
yeah, that's his artwork right there.
That's a very nice kind of washed effect.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
And
he's
this
color.
is in another one of the Lovecraft ones.
Right. Yeah, and he's colorblind, so he works in a lot of black and grays. That's his
Okay.
preference. Yeah.
Yeah, don't as a competitor with him, don't go cheating and swapping out his paints
Right.
because you might think you're trying to sabotage him. He might turn out something brilliant. We don't know.
Yeah.
But then you start pulling in other writers too for the next volumes, and this was 3 volumes. Are you going to continue this as a single issue series?
No, I think what I'm going to do is every 2 years release like a 5-story book, like a 4 to 5 story, and just run campaigns for them going forward.
Okay, yeah, the horror anthology books were probably one of my favorite genres when I was growing up. Now, of course, I'm reading comic books in the 70s
Right.
and the 80s. So, DC ruled the market then with that because they had they had Tales of the Unexpected, House of Mystery, House of Secrets, Ghosts, The Witching Hour, and it was just
Yeah.
and it was 22-page books with like 3 different stories in them. And they were all these, O. Henry gotcha kind of endings to them that you didn't see coming.
Yeah. Almost like Twilight Zone.
Yeah, Twilight Zone. Very Twilight Zone.
Yeah, which I'm a huge fan of. I draw a lot of inspiration from Twilight Zone.
It's a good source to go against. And, Twilight Zone was pulling off of all kinds of previously published short stories. So
Yeah.
it was sort of like the best of science fiction through your television.
Yeah, it really was.
Now this More Than They Can Chew, and this one I was kind of laughing at. Cannibalistic hillbillies being hunted by Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So Bigfoot's almost like the cavalry on this one.
Yeah, this one he's more of a hero. Yeah.
I can dig that.
Yeah.
Bigfoot is a hero. Somebody should do a comic book about a Sasquatch who's a hero and get it out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name any names. And this is followed by the unknown incident at Kecksburg, because this is the other Bigfoot story you've got here.
Right.
And again, now you're back to writing on this one, and Justin's getting some assist with Michael Garrett, which I guess is where the colors are coming from.
I'm the colorist, actually.
You're the colorist.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the writer colorist on that one. And Justin and Michael Garrett did the pencils on this one and inks.
So six stories. I probably passed right past it, but how many pages are we looking at for this book?
Just for the 6 stories, it's 97 pages. I am including a bonus story, which is going to add another 7 pages. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a 7-story book,
right?
For $25.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a very cool deal. So this is definitely going to be square bound kind of deal.
Yes, it will be.
You can't saddle stitch this one.
Yeah.
Mark says, I have a few giant-sized Marvel horrors on my wall. I can't recall Marvel having much in the way of horror. I mean, they did, but Marvel horror seemed to be like, still in the Marvel universe. Because, there was Werewolf by Night, and there was
Dracula.
Man-Thing. But, it would be nothing for Dracula to, be an enemy of the X-Men sometime.
Right, yeah.
Werewolf by Night would fight Spider-Man and Moon Knight.
Yep.
I do recall the one time that Batman got trapped in the House of Mystery, I was like, whoa, wait, what? that can happen? So that was kind of fun. But, yeah, I don't remember Marvel having much in the way of the hosted anthologies. And that was the other thing about the DC books was they all had a host.
Yes. Yeah.
And the only other publisher I ever saw do that, well, obviously there was, Tales from the Crypt.
Right.
The Crypt Keeper. The Harris magazines had, Uncle Eerie and Cousin Creepy.
Right.
And then there was one, I want to say it was Charlton, but I could be wrong. And it was, I can't remember the name of the book now. But I remember it was hosted by the Midnight Philosopher and his niece Ariadne. I think it was Midnight Tales.
Wow, It's an interesting name.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was a little bit more EC than the DC books would get when it came to gore, because they were in the book and nobody was watching them,
Right?
So they could get away with stuff. Mulrooney, Amanda Owens. How did you come across her? How'd she find you?
She's actually my brother's girlfriend, and she and my brother are both artists, and she's also a very creative person, and so we talked to her about writing the story, or my brother did, and so that's how we got to work with her.
Oh, that's cool though that you got like everybody right there. I mean,
right? Yeah,
it's you know each other's quirks and foibles and how to approach somebody for a correction, because
right, yeah. Exactly.
So this is she looks like she's taking care of a cabin here, and there's a giant kind of monster there. This is Alien, or
have you ever heard of Leap Castle?
Have I heard what?
Have you ever heard of Leap Castle?
I have not. Where is Leap Castle?
I want to say it's in Scotland, and I guess there's this legend behind it that my brother and his girlfriend Amanda were really into, and they kind of based it on that story. So it's kind of a haunted castle, and her being there kind of invokes these things to come around again.
Love a good haunted castle story.
Yeah.
And then the last one here is Mine. Okay, so this is the one where the ghosts are talking with the boy through the tin can phone. Right.
Yeah, that one was inspired by a Twilight Zone episode called Long Distance Call. That had Bill Mummy in it, and
Lost in Space.
Yeah, there you go. And so it just kind of drew inspiration from that episode. That was probably one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes.
I like this because watching the video, I thought there was like one ghost that was trying to get him and take him wherever they're trying to take him. But here you can see there's multiple ghosts that are at least willing to help.
Right.
They're pulling her down in a way. So how did you come up with the name of your publishing house, Halloween Head? So it sort of limits you to one day of the year.
Right. Well, again, my brother and I both have a love for Halloween and monsters, and we decided that we probably only had enough time to put out one good book a year, so it'd be for Halloween. And there was a song that he recommended I listened to. This is before we even came up with the name. It was called Halloween Head, and I don't remember the name of the singer right now. So I heard it, and I just kind of laughed. And I thought that's kind of a funny name. So we just decided to call our publishing company Halloween Head Comics.
You know what?
Yeah.
There's your host.
Yeah.
There's your host. You get yourself a sort of not a Jack Skellington, but like a jack-o'-lantern headed scarecrow. Have him introduce each story and wrap it up. You're good to go.
Yeah, that was originally my plan, but because of time constraints, I never got around to it. But if you scroll down on our bookmark, we have this little character called Little Jack. There he is. And he was meant to be our host, and he's like at the end of the book of every issue.
Yeah, writing frameworks like that can be challenging. And it's fun, but depending on what kind of story you get, you got to work around it. Our first anthology we published from Critical Blast was called Gods and Services, and it was this. We put the call out for here's the thing: the store pops up. It's never been there before. It won't be there if you go back. You buy something there, and it comes with a god, and that god tries to make your life better, whether you want it to or not, or
that is interesting,
or otherwise. So you had some horror and you had some humor and all that stuff.
Right.
But then when I got all the stories in, I wrote the framework story that was like leading into each one. So there was this continuing story as the shopkeeper was telling these tales about the items in the store to the people who had come in. And
that's a really cool idea.
It was going to end.
I like that.
But So he's got a bag of candy, which I would not trust a single morsel. In that
Yeah.
thing. And here he is. Here's little Jack, a lot cuter. On the button here. So this
Yep.
is the 1x1 button pin.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my first drawing of him, so I just kind of kept that as our logo.
Yeah, simple enough. Yeah, you don't want to get too. Trust me, when it comes to doing logos, you don't want to get too colorful, or because
Right.
then you're going to want to do things with it, and you're going to find you're limited.
Right.
The logo behind me here.
Yeah.
threw me here. If you ever try to do something like, hey, how about embroider that on a shirt? Yeah, no, that's 275 different colors of thread. Sure, we can do that.
Yikes.
So one of the other options you got here is as an add-on. That's where we are, add-ons here.
Yeah.
11 by 17 virgin print of the book. So there's no title on it here. You've got your monsters, you've got your monsters, your ghosts, your Bigfoot, and your aliens.
Yep.
Now, are you the artist on this one? Yes, there's Ben Soto.
Yeah.
This is very cool. Who is your or rather, what was your inspiration for how Bigfoot was going to look?
Really, I looked at what my brother and my friend Johnny did when they drew the book, and so they were my inspiration for doing the cover.
Because it looks the Bigfoot here reminds me of the Bigfoot that was in the $6 Million Man.
Yeah, I did see that episode not too long before drawing this too, so that could have been in my head.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because he's got the beard kind of thing going there. It's
Right.
like, very cool.
Yeah.
And now I'm flashing for no particular reason on an old Sid and Marty Krofft Saturday morning show. There was this live action anthology of stories for the Sid and Marty Krofft Super Show, and they had Dr. Shrinker, where it was these kids who'd been shrunk down, and the evil Dr. Shrinker was always trying to catch them. And then one of the other ones was The Adventures of Bigfoot and Wild Boy. And Wild Boy was just this blonde teenager like Commandy, who'd been abandoned in the woods as a baby and raised by Bigfoot. But he could speak perfect English and interact with other human beings. And when it was like Shazam, when danger called, he'd yell out, and Bigfoot would leap out of the woods and take care of the problem, and then run back away. There's our Bigfoot as a hero. I wonder if we could license that.
Yeah.
The Crofts aren't doing anything with it. Well, they probably are trying to. They're always trying to do something.
Right.
Stretch goal. Here we go. And it's unlocked.
Yep.
So what are we looking at here? This is a Wirehead poster, man.
Yeah, it is. It's a piece that I did for Rob just for fun. And he really liked it, and so he decided to put it in his book. And he's also going to use it for the cover of his album, I believe, the music album that he's got going on, like along with the comic book.
Very
And
nice.
so I asked him, was like, if it was all right if I used it as a stretch goal. Like, I didn't want to sell it, but I'd give it away if we reached that goal. And he's like, yeah, go for it. So yeah, he gave me his permission, and there it is. It's unlocked. So everybody's gonna get one of those prints.
Herwenberg is our wrench and our resident Google. He says the song Halloween Head is by Ryan Adams, formerly of the alt country band Whiskey Town, and there is the YouTube link to it, folks, if you want to watch the video after this one.
Yeah.
And yes, Eric, I am dating myself with the Crofts. Trust me, I can go earlier. I can go way earlier. I can go Bugaloos on you with the Crofts. Not only can I go Bugaloos, I can still sing the theme song. So I'm a very, very old man. You gotta remember, we only had 3 channels to watch back in that day. Saturday morning cartoons only went from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then it was done for the week.
Yeah.
What else we got here? So these are the sketches that will come with.
Those are samples. Yeah, those are samples of our sketches. Really, you can commission whatever you want from us when you buy those tiers.
Okay.
Yeah, those are just samples.
So we got three of Justin's work and three of your work. So you can see the similarities, and you can also see where you diverge in style.
Yeah.
If I were to look at these, I would say, I might guess that they're the same person, but it's obvious that you guys trained together.
Yeah.
Are you guys far apart in age difference, or?
Yeah, he's 7 years younger than I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were 14 when he was 7, drawing. No wonder you were competing.
That's right. Yeah. But that's really about the same age as I started drawing. Was about 13, and so he was about 6, and I started drawing. So he started drawing, and we both just started drawing together.
Yeah. Well, that's cool though, because he was you were inspiring him, and he whatever when he gets picked up by some major company and makes $1 million, you can at least say, yeah, I taught him everything he knows.
There you go.
And these are 6.5 by 10, so these will definitely fit in a comic book
right
backer.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Very nice, very nice. I skipped some of the tiers up here because we were at the book and sketch. This is the $60. Yeah, okay. So we saw the book and sketch with Justin's, and then this is the book and sketch with yours. Both of them are $60.
Right.
You should make yours $70. Just piss him off. Just say, look, mine are more expensive. No, I'm kidding. I always try to start fights. Shouldn't do that. And for 200 here now, there's only one of these, and I'm kind of surprised that it's not gone yet. But this is the original cover art. I'm guessing this is the black and white pen and ink.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's on 11 by 17 Bristol board.
11 by 17. That's tempting. So yeah, if your original art collectors, get in on this. Now, one thing I don't see or didn't see, I'll have to go back up here to the top because usually I skip over it and I don't mention it. But no, how do you respond to the whole, I need digital, I live overseas, or I can't have comics physically?
I haven't had anybody ask me that, and so I don't know. I guess I'm not into digital myself personally, so it didn't even cross my mind about offering that. So
yeah, I'm not either. But through contacts that I've made on the show, and through contacts that I've made through the distribution and the stuff that we do, I know that people overseas prefer it now. For American comics, because it's just they can't afford the shipping.
Right. Yeah, I understand that.
You set this up, you know what it costs to ship a book to Australia. Right. And then I've got folks in the chat who are regularly here. Robert Roberts, if you're there, pipe up. He works on oil pipeline in northern Canada. He's not home. He can't carry long white boxes around with him.
Right.
So he reads them on his device. And I didn't know if you just, didn't do it because some people are like, no, we're not doing digital because I don't like digital, or we're not doing digital because piracy problems.
Right.
Or it's just like, didn't think of it.
Yeah, no, I just, like I said, it didn't even cross my mind. Didn't even think about it.
Well, there's still 7 days left. You can.
Right.
Now, we didn't talk about the 7th story. We've seen the 6 on here, but you've told us that there's going to be a 7th story in here. How does that fit in with the theme of what we got? What's going on with that?
That's going to be a space kind of sci-fi horror story. And I really don't want to say too much. I want to leave that one as a surprise, just to give the readers a treat. Just
blend science fiction and horror together. It's kind of like Aliens. Yeah. I'm talking like the movie Alien.
Right.
Although if we're going to stick with comics, there were a lot of alien stories in like Tales of the Unexpected and stuff where you're like, oh, the alien did this or the alien did that. But the one that freaked me out the most, and that's when it's a good horror story, is when you've really scared the kid who's reading it. Planet of the Vampires. and it was just, interstellar explorers from Earth, and they land on this planet, and the planet has human-looking people on it, and they find out that they're vampires, and they start shooting them off with lasers, and they run back to the ship, and they take off, and they're like, oh, we got out of there, and one guy's covering his neck,
Oh,
and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
and then just like a couple of panels of just the ship traveling and then lands on Earth, and the
Right.
newscasters are like, and they're back, and we're going to find out where they've been and what they discovered, and they open up the door and they just leap out at you with things glaring.
yeah.
It had been a long trip and they hadn't eaten in a long time,
Yeah.
so they were hungry. I was like, that stuck with me for 40 years.
Yeah. That's my kind of story.
So what are you looking to do next?
Um,
You said it was
next,
gonna be more of these 5-issue things. Is it going to stay with horror, or are you going to kind of branch out?
no, I'm going to stay with horror. That's kind of the point of the Tricks or Treats title, is to keep it horror based within that genre.
Now,
But go ahead.
what kind of horror would you say this is, though? I mean, if you were to put a rating on it, like hey, this is a movie, and this is who can go watch it. Who can read this?
Oh yeah, this would be PG-13.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so pretty much anybody can read it then. That's good. There's
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
the language is not over the top. The
Right. No F-bombs. No. Yeah.
no
Not
F-bombs, no bared boobies.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
We need more. I'm not gonna say all ages, but most ages books.
Right.
You
Yeah.
say all ages, you start thinking Richie Rich, and
Right.
yeah, there's a place for that. But
Yeah.
Now, I go back to those DC comics. My dad could pick them up off the coffee table and read it and be fine with it and throw it down and
Right.
not worry that I'm 10 and picking it up and reading it myself.
Exactly. And that's what I wanted to do. I want to create something that kids could read if they were gravitating towards that type of thing. But I know there's lots of horror books out there that already offer a lot of just gratuitous violence and that kind of stuff. And if that's your cup of tea, awesome. But I want to create something for the kids. Again, for me, Halloween was something fun, and that's kind of what I want to tap back into.
Looking at the chat here, yes, Harrowberg, the Croft Super Show was fun stuff. Eric Ken, I'd rather date Electra Woman or Dyna Girl than date myself. They tried to redo that show, and I think they kind of sort of did a horrible job at it, because Electra Woman became a drunk, and the new Dyna Girl was hunting her down to try to drag her back in to fight crime. So yeah, that was kind of weird. Captain is Deckard a replicant Spock? Keeps changing your middle name, Cap. He's from over way across the pond, and it says comics today must be both analog and digital, in my humble opinion. Mine will be, and looking forward to seeing yours, Captain Spock. But yeah, he's another one in that position where it's easier to buy the digital, and it's just money on the table.
Right.
Yes, Eric, and their VAT fees. They're mysterious VAT fees now. That's the import tax that they have to actually pay when you send a comic overseas. It used to be before last month, it was this country charges this much percent. You're like, okay, well, multiply it times that percent and we'll put that in the shipping. And now it's you have to cut open a cat and lay its entrails out on the table and hope that you get the right answer, because they stopped giving you what the new rules are. They want you to join some shippers club for the European Union, and then they'll tell you the numbers that you should hit. So how much of your time do you spend creating comics versus real life stuff?
Really, just the weekends. I'll put in, I don't know, maybe about 8 hours over the weekend. But yeah, that's about it. Just because my work life, I work probably 10 to 11 hours a day. Yeah, my job.
Let's talk about horror.
Yeah, it's very time consuming, draining. So by the time I get home, I just want to have dinner, hang out with my wife, watch TV, and go to bed, do it all over again the next day. So yeah, weekends are probably the best time for me to get anything done.
You just sit back, relax, and throw in a good horror movie.
On Saturday nights, yeah, I like to watch Svengoolie. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. That's again a host.
Yes. Yeah.
We are online friends with Ivana Cadaver. who does very much the same thing with U2 America, online channel that everybody can watch, and she hosts a lot of the I almost want to say they're public domain horror, but they're definitely the cheesy horror that I don't think you have to pay much of a licensing fee for.
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dead is pretty much. I can't believe it's public domain, but I think it really is.
Wow. Yeah.
It's just that old and that unprotected, I guess. I'm trying to think what else we could talk about monsters and horror and this book in particular. I will, remind everybody that while we're talking about this, if this book has intrigued you, there's a link floating right below this video that will take you straight to the Indiegogo page. And Indiegogo is still the preferred method for many crowdfunders. I don't know. Did you consider Kickstarter? Did you do a Kickstarter?
I didn't, just because I knew the audience was already on Indiegogo. And a lot of my friends have already bought books from there. I've supported books on there, so that's why I stayed on there.
Yeah, I was kind of being a little ominous there because of all the news of the new Kickstarter comic book consultant that got
I heard about that
today. It was like,
yeah,
okay, a little sus there.
Yeah.
But so this is. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued enough to want to read it, and that's enough for me to tell other people to do the same. So I've got to make sure I can find that sticker somewhere else as an add-on, because it's got to go on the collection somewhere. Now the sticker is what is the sticker?
Yeah, it's that logo. So
it's the button. It's the button.
Yeah, the button. Yeah, it's the same image. Yeah,
I got you. Yeah, and there's I didn't see it on the list here, but I'm seeing a picture of them. This is you got rubber bracelets.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I guess I did forget to put it on the list, but yeah, you're gonna get a bracelet as well.
Very nice. Yeah, there's all kinds of things that people can add onto the campaign to spice it up a little bit. Well, not spice it up. That's not that kind of a book.
Right.
But to make it more of an experience.
Right. Yeah.
What kind of brainstorming sessions did you put in to decide on, hey, let's do bracelets or buttons versus, hey, let's do a 3D action figure of Little Jack or.
Right. Yeah, I did. I spent like a weekend with my brother, just going back and forth, talking about things. While we're talking with each other, we were both Googling stuff and just looking at what other people were doing, just looking at what's out there as far as merchandise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of two different ways you can go with that. There's like, what's everybody else doing because that's what's popular, and then what's everybody else doing so that we can do something that no one's seen before kind of approach.
Right. Yeah.
The trick is that, if you get too creative, your shipping goes up,
right.
or you lose the ability to go with the media shipping,
right?
Because it's hey, as long as it's a comic book and a bookmark and a trading card, as long as it's paper,
right?
You're going media. As soon as you throw in a Hot Wheels car or
right
or a 3D statue, nope, you have graduated to priority.
Yeah.
Now, this is like you said, this is your first crowdfunding. So have you shipped the comics that you worked on before? Because they're pretty much local, I would guess. You just went to your local shops?
Right. Yeah, I went to local shops, and then of course we traveled to conventions back then. That of course that's not going on now. Yeah, not as much, anyways.
They're coming back. They're coming back.
But yeah, no, I've never shipped it before.
What area of the country are you in, Ben?
I am in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay, because I saw Collinsville on your Indiegogo, and I'm like, I wondered if that was Collinsville, Illinois, for a moment, because that was just like the next town north of where I lived.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, but it's not. It's Oklahoma. Oh well.
Yep, Oklahoma.
Way far away.
Yeah.
Big horror scene in Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's definitely has its fans here.
Because I know that St. Louis has, I think, a couple of different conventions for horror. They used to have Contamination,
Huh.
which was, they would bring in all the B movie stars and the horror hits, and it was run by Dave Dyer, who's one of our LCS guys every other week on our show. He runs a comic shop now.
That's cool.
And now he just brings the guests to his store for events before a year of COVID just stopped everything.
Right.
So I'm going to take the scary risk here, and I'm going to reload the page because we've been talking about this. I've been saying how interested I am in it. I want to see if we were able to convey that interest to our viewers, and we have not. I have failed you. I have failed
It's
this
all right.
guest. Green Arrow can shoot me in the chest now, if he can find it. But there's still 7 days left.
Yeah, that's right. There's still 7 days left. I just extended it this last weekend because I still have some stuff to do, some production things to take care of before we go to the printers.
Yeah, well, that's, I didn't think to ask that because it's an anthology of stuff that's already been done. But, you do have the new story.
Right.
So how close to that, to being done is that?
I've got 2 of the 7-page story done. I'm still working with the writer to tighten up the script. He's a new writer I just brought on. His name is Matt Hudson. And then I also relettered the first 2 issues, or the first issue, which is the first 2 stories of the book.
Because the print files for the rest of them already exist. I don't
Right. Yeah.
know that you really have to reformat them, or
No, I won't.
Good.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're really just whatever the work is for a 7-page comic, and you've got 2 of them done already.
Yep.
And it will be shipping out in October, which this is August, September,
Yep.
October. 2 months.
Yep.
Confidence level?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because nobody wants a Halloween book in November, man.
That's right. I mean,
In fact,
fingers
they don't
crossed.
have a Halloween book in any other month except November, because November you're Halloweened out. December you're kind of watching Nightmare Before Christmas. You're like, yeah, it was kind of cool Halloween, and then horror book the rest of the year long.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Fingers crossed. Our printer doesn't have any issues. So.
No thoughts about a retailer tier?
Oh, what?
A retailer tier.
Oh, retailer. Yeah. Again, like it's something that didn't cross my mind. I did briefly think about it, but I didn't know that there'd be much interest in trade paperbacks. I just wasn't sure. That'd be something that would interest retailers.
Well, you know what? If you come up with the idea and you put it on the tier and nobody gets it, what did it cost you?
That's true. Yeah.
Whereas if you think nobody wants it and you sell 100 of them, you're kind of happy you did it.
Yeah.
Lessons learned for next time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I learned a lot this first go at it. So yeah,
And
definitely.
there'll be a next time, right? I mean,
Right,
I'm
yeah,
assuming
definitely.
for like the 4th or I keep wanting to think that this is an ongoing series for the next anthology, which will be
Right.
2 years from now.
Yes.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah.
Don't rush it. Do quality work.
Right.
So when do you think you'll launch the campaign for that one? I mean, you don't want to wait 2 years to launch it, but you don't want to do it, too long out either. You get that expiration of expectations.
Yeah. Also, like I don't think people start thinking about Halloween until like towards the late end of summer, maybe. So it'd probably be about that same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the one hand, I say that's great, because I know your schedule's limited. On the other, man, I'm going to miss you for 2 years.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to do something else next year because I am working on another book on the side, another project.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that will be an ongoing series that I'm working on. But yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Is that under your banner or with somebody else? Is it horror?
It's going to be a Western cosmic horror. It's just
Western
something.
cosmic horror.
Yeah.
Okay, cowboys and aliens and Bigfoot.
Yeah, from another dimension. Yeah.
Very cool. So then hit me up for that one because
Yeah, I definitely will.
We don't want to forget you for 2 years, man.
Yeah. I don't want to be forgotten.
Once you're in here, you're part of the community, and we like to keep you hanging around.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, that does that kind of wraps it up, I think. Folks, this is 90 plus pages, $25.
Yep.
Get 2 of them for 40. Hit the link down below and get out there and get yours reserved. There's only 7 days left on this, and then in demand. Are you gonna leave it up, or are you just gonna like, okay, we're done?
No, I'm going in demand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't count on in demand, people. That can end at any time.
Yeah.
So with that said, Ben, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight, and
thank you for having me.
Bringing the Halloween Head anthology to us.
Yeah.
Looks like a lot of fun. And everyone in the chat, appreciate you being here. I'm not going to ask you to hit like, but I will ask you to hit share so that we can put Ben's work out in front of more eyeballs and get him some more, get him some more clicks before this thing closes out here. Spread the horror around for Halloween. And with that, we're thankful for you being here. We don't have a show without you. And as always, we just hope you had a blast.